The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
It's the Full Melt Show.
Are you high?
What
are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Pumped up and riding on PetPain.com studio airwaves. You're listening live to another edition of the Full Melt Show. My name is Steve Green. Welcome to the program. We talk about news in the cannabis industry, hemp, marijuana, medical cannabis, retail marijuana, also known, if you use the prohibitionist messaging, as, what do they call it, recreational marijuana. I couldn't think of a more biased term to use for retail cannabis. I mean, if you were to you do the same thing, if you were to use, I'll just draw an analogy between, if you go buy, your Stolies down at the local liquor store, consider Stolies to be a brand name, much like, say, Willie's Weed. I don't know, I forgot his brand name already. Well, he hasn't really established his brand in my mind yet. He has to spend the money yet to do that. The repetitive advertising, so I'll remember what Willie Weed is from a branding standpoint. It's not called Willie Weed. It's too much like Billy Beer, isn't it? Does anybody remember Billy Beer? Am I that old that nobody remembers Billy Beer? Back in the I'm so old. Back in the Carter administration, President Carter, getting elderly now, recently being public about a struggle with diagnosed cancer. However, his brother, Billy Carter, introduced while he was president, while his brother Jimmy was president, Billy Beer, and it was all the rage in the 70s. You got your Pabst and you got your Billy Beer. I think there are still people today that have a can of Billy Beer lying about as a... Now, I would never drink the Billy Beer. I'm sure it is. If there was ever a skunked beer at this point, Billy Beer is probably skunked. I would not drink that beer. I'm just saying. Beware of the Billy Beer. I don't even know if people drank the Billy Beer or how it tasted. I don't know. I remember hearing any reviews of the Billy Beer. It was only subject about the fact that there was something called Billy Beer, and it was fun to say. At the time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves, and I was a child during these times, there was a song. I forget who sings it. It's a country song. A Sneaky Snake. I don't know. It was one of those corny country songs. They had a bunch of them in the 70s. This was Sneaky Snake, and it was much like Billy Beer. It was just fun to say. A little story attached to it. Anyways, I'll get way off subject. Back during the... Why were we talking about President Carter? I forgot how I got on President Carter now. Something with the 70s? I don't know. I want to let it go. I'm sure I'll figure it out later and bring it back. I'll bring you full circle. If it comes back and taps me on the shoulder, I'll let you know. I think it's funny. Extremely funny, in fact. What's this? Oh, comments away. People sending comments all the time. Bombarded with messaging we are. Advertising messaging included. I mean, you can't go a minute without getting some kind of advertising message from somebody. And I suppose there are people who are upset that our kids, and I'm one of them. I think I'm one of them. We're so overexposed to commercial messages about everything, including things that shouldn't be, I think, commercially talked about. When I was a youngster, and I feel like I'm Dana Carvey's character. Why, in my day, boom, he slams his fist. Why, in my day, we did this and that. How did he do it? We walked uphill in the snow, and we liked it. Yeah, that whole sketch on Saturday Night Live. I feel like him now. I feel like that little guy. We didn't have a lot of messaging I mean, we had some messaging, but even the messaging that we got was guarded, especially towards kids. If there's very little left of the Saturday morning programming on television anymore. And if you do watch, there's a tiny bit left. And when you do watch children's-oriented programming on commercial television, not the cable channels, just regular over-the-air TV, the major networks, very tiny bit exists now because there's a specialty place over on the side networks on the cable where you can babysit your kids for free 24/7 with cartoons. There is no more Saturday morning cartoons like they used to have when I was a kid. But, so in my day, when the commercials came on the air, they would tell you, and now for these commercial messages, they wanted kids to clearly understand that the next thing that they were watching or listening to was no longer entertainment, but obviously designed to get them to buy stuff, right? They still do it today. It's part of it's never been severed from network standards and practices. Part of what they require of it's their own quality assurance test, measure. We don't put things on the air that do this. We have very strict standards. You have to confine and conform to these standards. And so messaging was much less then, and when it did occur, especially around kids, was labeled as such. You don't have this anymore. The lines have been blurred. We didn't have messaging for pharmaceutical agents, which is wholly antithetical to the method we've set up for healthcare worldwide. Here's what happens. Here's what's supposed to happen according to the edict and doctrine of the American Medical Association. You go to your doctor complaining of an illness or issue, a problem, maybe even an emergency. The doctor assesses your condition, applies his knowledge, career expertise, wisdom, and training, along with his schooling, over a lengthy period of time, to your situation, and decides what best therapy you go forth with. You agree with your doctor about said prospective therapy. And that therapy may or may not include a drug the doctor is certainly aware of. It's part of his repertoire. It's part of what he has to be knowledgeable of. It's part of his education and training, pharmaceuticals. And so when new pharmaceuticals come out, they have continuing education. A lot of this material gets really distributed through the pharmaceutical industry because they have a sole vested interest in selling said pharmaceuticals. And so you go to your doctor, and he knows about these drugs, what they're called, what their technical terms are, and the only knowledge you will end up having with these drugs is your actual purchase of them from another guy for a reason. You're not going to the doctor as a drug dealer. You're going to the doctor for efficacy, for help with your medical situation. The doctor prescribes a drug, which then a pharmacist fills, who has none of that association with you. And that's how it's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to reverse the system. You're not supposed to go to your doctor with a drug and say, "Doctor, I saw a commercial to ask you about this drug." You should never be making that appointment. It's not how the healthcare system works, but that's how the pharmaceutical companies have self-deregulated, because it used to be on their own regulation, their own self-regulation, that they didn't advertise to the public these medications. It's very confusing. They've decided to spend a great deal of money in trying to get more of your money by getting you to go to the doctor and ask for these drugs in the hopes that that request will cause your doctor to write said prescription. I think the whole thing smells of fish and is nearly, by description alone, by definition alone, illegal. Your doctor should not be giving you drugs when you go to him and ask for them. It's the last thing that should be. You don't go to the doctor asking for drugs. You go to a drug dealer asking for drugs. I'm serious. If you're going to your doctor asking for Viagra because you think it's a good idea, you like to have a happy boner, and you're 25 years old and have no problem with erectile dysfunction, you're breaking the law, and so is the doctor if he writes you that script. You've got no on-label, FDA-approved reason for taking that drug. It is not an entertainment boner medicine. It's for people who have no ability to achieve them because of a certain condition. And it applies all the way across the drug spectrum. So these drugs should not be marketed on television, but they've purchased the news, the network news, by buying like 80% of the network broadcast schedule during network evening news. And I'm talking 2, 4, 7, 13, 6, 8, whatever your channels are. NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, even CNN. If you talk about the people that are making the money from this, it's the drug companies. And obviously the system has worked for it. And the problem is this. Now they've got the teat of the news guys. And then also their bottom lines, their corporate bottom lines. So how much impact does the wholesale purchase of the news industry in this country, the free market news, broadcast journalism, is affected by this underwriting? There has to be some connection. I could see a day and a place and an age where I came to my news director, or I was a news director at a corp. I've done this in many places, where I came with a news story and vetted it out, found it to be truthful, and aired it after triple sourcing independent people who say the same thing. Now I can report it as news. That's the gold standard for journalism. Triple sourcing. Making sure your facts are accurate according to others. Times 3 at minimum. If you're telling these kinds of stories, they got to be factual. So I'm dismayed that I would believe that colleagues, through corporate pressure for bottom line revenue reasons, might impact their storytelling or choose to lean away from a story or to polish a story or to give it fluff because of some possibility that they may not come back to purchase airtime at my station. And don't you think for a moment these companies wouldn't retaliate if you put on that kind of story? You'd have to be willing, and your network would have to back you, that they'd be willing to take that financial hit if you reported the actual news. And that's what a real journalist, a real news organization would absolutely do. Because the only way a news organization is credible is if they tell you the truth. If they're telling you what an advertiser wants to tell you, look, the advertiser's got all the time to tell you what they want to tell you during the commercial break, which is coming up now. The part that I'm doing right now is supported by my advertisers, but isn't written or created by them. No association whatsoever. That's the mark of a journalist. More coming up in moments.
You're getting the full melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power monster aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Dorr Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
Don't miss the first ever cannabis competition this year as the prize contest moves from Amsterdam to Jamaica. That's right, it's all Jamaican fun now with the Big Cup competition in Negril this November. Get your best travel accommodations now at JamaicaPot.com. Pack your beach bong and swimsuit and party down at the warm sandy beaches of Negril, Jamaica for the first ever big cannabis event this year. Do it in style or come have fun on a budget. Best travel prices now at JamaicaPot.com. That's JamaicaPot.com.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. Tootin' my horn about a Butters update. See, that JamaicaPot.com thing makes me want to talk like the Jamaican guy. Butters update coming towards the end of the show here. I don't know. Actually, I think... Actually, a correction. I stand corrected. It's at the after this program segment. At the end of the next commercial break, a Butters update with Joe Brown out in Cernak, Michigan, at the Industrial Research Hemp Facility. He's established and is in the process of building out there hempcrete and off-the-grid living. Living out of the river and off the land is what he's doing out there. Butters the Goat, I think, is a comical addition to the entourage out there. I think Butters provides part of the Joe Brown entourage effect, if I might use that borrowed coined expression. And so we'll talk about today. What I've heard is that there was at least attempted theft of his hemp, industrial hemp. Oh, we got to hear this story. That'll be coming up next. First, I want to tell you that I can hear my detractors now. I remember after thinking through the commercial break, he comes on the show talking about how it's a show about cannabis, marijuana, and hemp, and then he talks about Billy Beer. Oh, I can hear it now. So there's this judge in Missouri that, according to STL Today, so it must be, what is it? I wonder what STL Today, looks like Seattle Today, but it can't be that. Maybe it is. I'm going to click on it and let's see what it says. I'm reading to you from a post I made earlier today on the Facebook page for the Full Melt Show. This is indeed in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. STL St. Louis Post. That's what it is. I don't know. I don't get St. Louis Post out of STL. But it's the St. Louis Post-Dispatch at stltoday.com. Dateline, Jefferson City, Missouri. A new constitutional amendment guaranteeing the right to farm doesn't protect a woman who reportedly grew marijuana in her home, a Missouri judge ruled this week. Cole County Circuit Judge Dan Green ruled against a woman Tuesday whose public defender tried to argue that cultivating marijuana falls under the Farming Rights Amendment, the Jefferson City News Tribune reported. The public defender there, Justin Carver, argued that Green should set aside a grand jury indictment against Lisa A. Lesh. She was charged in 2012 after Jefferson City police arrested her for allegedly growing pot in her basement. The conduct alleged in the indictment, even as taken as true, does not give rise to an offense in that the conduct is protected by the Missouri constitutional right to farm, Carver wrote in an April motion. Voters added the amendment, which states that the right of farmers and ranchers to engage in farming and ranching practices shall be forever guaranteed in this state, to the Missouri Constitution in August of 2014. Green ruled that the amendment only applies to livestock and quote-unquote legitimate crop cultivation, and even those practices still are subject to regulations. The, quote, argument that growing marijuana in the basement constitutes a secondary, quote, farming or ranching practice, unsecondary, quote, goes way beyond the plain meaning of new secondary, quote, farming or ranching practice, end quote, Green wrote. Simply put, marijuana is not considered a part of Missouri's agriculture. Go figure. Carver also added the right to farm amendment, removed marijuana from the state's criminal code, which Green rejected. Again, still figuring. Green countered Carver's arguments that laws against growing pot violate state and federal rights. The ruling came the same day as a Missouri man sentenced to life in prison without parole on several marijuana-related offenses was released following a commutation of his sentence by Governor Jay Nixon. Jeff Mazansky, 62, said he plans to advocate for legalizing marijuana. The issue could be posed to voters if backers of several initiative petitions to legalize marijuana collect enough signatures to place the proposals on a ballot in 2016. Lesch's next court appearance is scheduled for later this month. So, couple things here. First off, is it a good idea or bad idea? I would pose it, the question, to have a guy who was in prison formerly for a marijuana-related offense then become the poster child of a pro-marijuana amendment. I think the jury is out on that. I think there would be a natural tendency to say yes. I think once thought through, there may be another tendency to retract that approval. Then the other thing is, this is like all these other sideline marijuana arguments. When people start making rules or taking rights away, and when I say making rules, I'm talking specifically about the Religious Freedom Restoration Act in Indiana, that particular law. Not the RFRA might be in your state or in the federal government's rules, their laws. I'm talking about this one in Indiana. When they start doing these things to respond to some political desire to persecute, box in, overcome, overpower, overshadow, overwrite, overburden, there are unintended consequences. And this is one of, I think, those residual arguments. They wanted to write into the law this business about the right to farm, and I think that is a natural yes vote, right? So what constitutes a right to farm? I mean, right to farm what? Can I grow psilocybin mushrooms? I mean, I got a right to farm here. There's a market for those mushrooms. I got a right here, a constitutional right in this state to grow my farm. What's my farm? My farm is mushrooms, or my farm is cannabis. My farm is hemp. That's the argument, being waged here. I mean, the judge said legitimate crop cultivation and livestock, the only thing subject to that right to farm law. He wants to say that the plain reading of the constitutional amendment would give the same plain association to the term farming, the way the public, any John Q. Public or Jane Doe Public, would define farming. And I think most people, even in the cannabis community, if you ask them to define farming, they would talk about food products. Well, cannabis is a food product. It's a very nutritional food product, I might add. It's not one you're familiar with because it's been banned forever, at least in your lifetime, unless you've gone around and skirted and risked your own, freedom to say otherwise. What is farming? I would say the plain language definition of farming is planting something, cultivating something to produce a crop. If you're a commercial farmer, then you're producing that crop for sale. Just being a farmer alone doesn't mean you have a crop for sale. You may be farming at home. You may be farming for your own food preservation, canning and freezing and preserving of foods, pickling, traditional food preservation. I mean, people do this all the time. We did this when I was a kid. In fact, I probably wouldn't be here now if my family didn't do that. They couldn't afford to buy store-bought food. Just the stuff that went with it. A few things. You know, the sides. We didn't have cows and chickens, although sometime we did. Not cows, just the chickens. Did we have chickens? No, the neighbors had chickens. I don't think we ever had chickens. Well, we certainly grew a big garden. The meat and the dairy products and the eggs and the bread, except for some stuff that was made at home, was all purchased. That's farming. It is. You're growing a product for your own consumption, and it may be food stuff. So that's the argument they were trying to make there, and I think the plain reading of the language, if you ask me, says farming is growing a product for on purpose, intentionally. You're cultivating it. You're not foraging. You're not going out in your own backyard and picking the natural raspberries growing up alongside the telephone pole. That's not what you're doing here. You're planting and cultivating it. You're caring for it. You're weeding it. That's what people think of naturally as farming. Why wouldn't that naturally include cannabis? You have a right to farm. It means you got a right to grow stuff and cultivate things. Why would it not include cannabis? I think that would be the natural question if you'd ask me, just from, I guess from an unbiased perspective. It's by definition, what is farming? There's a natural answer to what is farming. They wanted to use my same answer. This is the plain reading of this. I think when you apply the bias of the drug war and you apply the bias of, prohibition of cannabis to the subject, when you project that on the plain reading of the language, then it would alter it to their point of view. Absent that, the plain reading says right to farm. It doesn't define what a farm is. A farm is a farm. It has its own definition. You can just look it up in the dictionary. This is what Webster's, Oxford Dictionary says. Dictionary. I said dictionary. Where'd my diction go? So enough of that. Those are the two things about that story. Another thing going on is the marijuana and wine infusion. Or wine and marijuana infusion would be a better way to put that, I suppose, because it's more accurate. As back in the news, this brief story, Kathleen Wilcox on the trend for weed-infused wine, here quoting Dr. Carl Ruck. Though he refrained from commenting on the advisability of renewing the practice of brewing weed wine, he did say that cannabis would be one of the less dangerous additives to make a comeback, of which there are a lot of other less promising entries in the wine fortification market. Evidence for the additives comes from folkloric traditions, and the practice is apparently often employed in the making of home brews, Professor Ruck explains. One with salamander venom is marketed in the Balkans. Modern Greek retsina is fortified with toxic terpenes. Come for the history lesson, stay for the sneering about stoners. It's going to be a lot of fun watching wine people come to terms with the new normal. Referring to cannabis. They didn't spell normal M-A-L. They spelled it M-L. By the way, I'm going to have to tell the guys at No Smell Bags they got to fix their advertising. Here's why. Because he says, and I think it's totally lost in the commercial. I think it goes right over everybody's head. Something's got to happen there. So it's Canalock, so nobody knows. Oh, there's double entendre that's used in the advertising. They spell it N-O-S-E. So nobody knows. But when you just say it, you got to do it like this. This is why I've been at radio for a while. You have to, if you're going to read it, you got to do it like this. Canalock. So nobody knows. You see, that's how you do that. You have to do a little sniff there. And then they know you're talking about, your schnoz and not your noodle. Speaking of schnoz and noodle, And remember, we're coming back with a Butters update. Don't forget, we're moments away from a Butters update, ladies and gentlemen. Regulation. Oh, good Lord. Start a rewind. Regulation or the lack thereof causes Denver court controversy. Denver quarantining marijuana products at 2 businesses for pesticides. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. The labeling on some of these products, on both cannabis itself, that's required by the state in Colorado, and also some medical products, included a banned pesticide. So the state of Colorado, it's right on the label. It says this was made with this, and this is banned. I mean, what stoner did that? I just want to know. It's easy to cross these lines, and it's really simple move to make, I suppose. It's a critical error and failure. But I don't necessarily know that these people did this intentionally. I think this was completely accidental and a stoner move. If you ask me, it could happen as not a stoner move. This could happen in any industry, especially an emerging one that's creating new rules. But it's funny that Denver would have to quarantine. Nope, we're coming in and roping off this aisle. Or we're absconding these, jars of cannabis in your display cabinet because right on the label it says it contains or was made with or used by, I don't know, whatever, this banned pesticide. So there's a little comedy in error there. I think there was another story I wanted to tell you about. Yeah, I hope I have time. Do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. There was something else from the stupid file, from the really idiot file. It wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. Attorney General clears marijuana, other state ballot. So that's Massachusetts. Legal weed getting closer there. Same thing I just told you about with the Missouri guy. Effort to legalize marijuana for recreational use in Missouri has a new spokesperson. It's the guy that just got bounced from prison. He just got sprung. I just got out for, dealing dope. I just got out. That's not the story I wanted to tell you. Southern fried poachers. This is what I wanted to tell you. Marijuana bird blind lands Oklahoma hunters in jail. Bunch of poachers on their own land, killing, a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to kill and taking their wings, among other things, for trophies. Get busted with a deer blind, really a bird blind, made out of weed. Go figure again.
Getting the full melt.
Get ready, let's go. Hey, na, 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 na. Oh, hey, na, let's go. Yeah, I've got style. I'll make it wild. I'll change it up and switch it up so versatile. I'll be myself and I'm gonna let everybody know.
We have the latest styles to mix it and mash it. So make it your own and bend the trend. JCPenney. When it fits, you feel it. During the JCPenney Back to School Hot Sale, get an extra $10 off when you spend $25 or more with coupon. Nike, Converse, Levi's, and other exclusions apply.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power Monster Aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
Don't miss the first ever cannabis competition this year as the prize contest moves from Amsterdam to Jamaica. That's right, it's all Jamaican fun now with the Big Cup competition in Negril this November. Get your best travel accommodations now at JamaicaPot.com. Pack your beach bong and swimsuit and party down at the warm sandy beaches of Negril, Jamaica for the first ever big cannabis event this year. Do it in style or come have fun on a budget. Best travel prices now at JamaicaPot.com. That's JamaicaPot.com.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the Allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pets.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
Hey, so if you're ever interested in calling us here, you can do that real simple like. It's toll free. That's how simple it is. And we make it easy to remember, too. The toll-free part is 844. That's a toll-free extension. 1-844. I'm not doing the Jamaica pot guy anymore. I'm doing the Southern. 1-844-44-TALK. 1-844-44-TALK if you want to ever call the Full Melt Show and talk about the stuff we're talking about. You'll want to do that, I'm telling you, because the Full Melt Show has been renewed for a new season. I told you before, medical marijuana has been thwarted as a list of qualifying condition in the Medical Marijuana Act in Michigan. But join us for the 2016 season as we bring you a groundbreaking, even earth-shattering, expanded special 2-hour season premiere on September 10th that furthers this story. Autism, GMO foods, glyphosate, and the MMR vaccine. Have we found the scientific smoking gun on causing autism? Are our children being poisoned by our own food supply? MIT researcher Stephanie Seneff says we are, but does it end there? Is the weed killer herbicide Roundup causing other consequences to our health, I ask you? Celiac disease, including gluten intolerance? See, that's a new term. We never had that in my day. Never heard of gluten intolerance. We ate gluten and we liked it. Some forms of breast cancer. Does ADHD and other chronic escalating illnesses in our communities today have direct correlation to genetically modified foods and the weed killers they're designed to work with? The shocking answer may be news you cannot afford not to know. Guests from all angles on the fall premiere, I tell you, of the Full Melt Show Thursday, September 10th. Expanded edition from 7 until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live and exclusively right here at thefullmelt.com. Please don't miss that episode. I'm telling you, once we go over that information and talk with these experts, we're bringing them all on. And it's not going to be from just one angle. We're not going to just bring on some researcher that makes some claim. We're bringing on an MIT researcher. And she's going to tell you about the various published studies they've done, the gold standard for scientific evidence, peer-reviewed published studies by research scientists at university. This one of the top in the country, MIT. You get into MIT, you're no imbecile. And the work and studies that these people have produced is astounding. You've got to join us for this episode. Tell your friends about it. If you've got a autism connection in your family or in your friendship community, please have them tune in. This will be big, big news once it's introduced because I think this show is breaking it. I don't think anybody else is on top of this. So a program note for you there in coming days. What else was I going to do here? Oh, yeah. I think I want to do this. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do it yet. Hold on. Oh. Hang on. I'll do it that way then. I don't know if I could. Can I do this at the same time as I do this? I don't know. I'm doing that because I got to call Joe Brown. I've got to look him up now. So hang on a second. We got a dial tone here. I'm dialing in the dark here. Dialing in the dark, I tell you. Oh, get that thing out of my ears. It's this and then this. Now, see, I wanted to play the theme song music, but I can't while I'm looking at the number. I got to hum it to you instead. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day. Okay, I can't sing any more past that. I'm going to kill myself. All right, so.
You have reached the voicemail box.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, no, we don't. Trying that again. Oh, I'll be mad if it doesn't work. I told him Butters update right now. He better be right there. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day. And I said you would. Be there, Joe. Please be there, Joe.
You have reached the voicemail
Damn
box
it.
of 6.
Oh, I can't do it. Maybe, so, let me just try it. There's maybe another number. Let me try that because, let me try that. Hang on. Hold on. Hold the fort. Hold the press, as they say. There may be another number. Let me try this. I have to look it up now. See, I can't. Normally, I'd be filling with music, but I was going to play it from the phone. I can't do that now. No, it's the only number I have. Damn it. Maybe this one? No, that's not it either. Oh, see, now I'm so dismayed. So I'm going to try it one more time just for kicks and giggles. He can't be dead phone. What is wrong with you, Joe? I'll be mad if it doesn't ring. It's not going to ring. I can tell already. Got the feeling. Got the vibe. The Spidey tingles going off.
You have reached
I was right. I was right. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm glad we do this instead of the end of the show, at the very end, because this gives us time to fix it at least. Maybe perhaps I can text him. Well, if his phone's not on, that's not going to work, is it? Hey, Joe. I should just do it that way. I'm going to use the voice-to-text thing, so I'm going to turn the sound back on and do it this way. Hey, Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand? Oh, no, wrong message. Try it again. Hey, Joe. I was thinking of, Jimi Hendrix. It just popped into my head. I don't know why. I'm going to back all that off. See, now it recorded all that stuff that I just said. It wants to text that. Try it again. Hey, Joe, where are you? We're supposed to be on the air now. We'll see if that works. I got to do it over at the Facebook, too, just in case he's over there. I don't know why that would be different, but I think Joe's not actually on the farm right now. I think he said he would be home at this hour. I hate doing it like this, though, but it is what it is. Live radio, you can't miss it. This is why I like live stuff, because, crap can go wrong, and then it's fun to laugh and watch people burn. Crash and burn, you did. Where you at, Joe? Looking for Joe up here in the Facebook. Trying to find the Joe. I'll just do it this way. Joe Brown, there you are. Oh, hello, Joe. Where are you? We're on the air waiting for your call. Answer the phone. I can't type for crap. And we're wasting valuable radio time. Although, entertaining, I hope. At least you're watching me crash and burn. Thank you, Joe. The hell. You are correct. I am filtrating nicotine through a nicotine inhalation device, also known as a cigarette. Oh, I just dropped it, too. This is why you shouldn't smoke on the air. Don't drop the hots on the wires. Oh, it's on the wires, too. All that for a partial smoke. See, it's not even a full smoke. It is a partial cigarette. All right, I'm giving up on Joe. Giving up on you, Joe. We'll tie you in the next break. Makes me mad now. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure there's a good explanation. I'll give you the synopsis of what I do know. According to a Facebook post earlier today, the hemp farm was intruded upon by outsiders. So this is where you play the Beverly Hillbillies theme. Outsiders, I tell you. I was leaving the farm, you see, and I saw this car parked up in an conspicuous way. Which one is it, inconspicuous or conspicuous? I can't spell either one. I think it's conspicuous. It was a conspicuous car, I tell you. And there was an older dude in there and some young feller come running back out of the woods. I was like, hey, old dude, what you doing on my property? I'm quoting this to you as seen on phone. This is how he told me on the phone today what happened. He didn't tell it like this, but I'm just, I guess I'm not even embellishing it. I'm just giving it interpretation. What are you doing on my farm there, old man? Wouldn't answer. Old man, I said, what you doing up on my farm? I got my pepper spray. Might have to pepper you. I'm just your neighbor. I'm just your neighbor. Real while, I'll ask you again, neighbor. What you doing up on my farm? Well, then some youngin' feller come rustling up out of the weeds. And the youngin' feller had a knapsack in his hand, an empty knapsack, and some bolt cutters. Well, you know what he was there to do? He was there to steal our industrial hemp. Hemp! Hemp thief! That's what I think happened on the farm today. Now, what happened? Now, so they both got in their car and tooled on out of there. And they tooled on out. He wrote down his license plate number, called the cops, I think. Why am I giving you the Butters update without Butters or Joe? Have we ever had Butters on? I want to hear, the next time I call Joe on the farm, I'm going to make him make Butters make a noise into the phone, because I want to make sure that this isn't just some goat that he's, photoshopping into Facebook. Totally sucked in on the Butters story. No, Butters doesn't exist except in Photoshop and Joe's imagination. There was no industrial hemp farm robbery, attempted robbery. Get off my lawn. I mean my swamp. So that's what's going on out in beautiful Cernak, Michigan. Wait a minute. Oh, he says call. Now he got the message. I see, now I wish I could play back. I'm going to say it to him anyways. Try it again. Can I hit the redial button? Probably not. Okay. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're almost at the commercial break. Where are you? Just don't know where are you. See, now I got to look up where the stupid number is again. This one and that one and that one. And I think I'm getting expert at dialing in the dark. This one, and then that one and that one. And now we're going to commercial break. See, there's nothing I can do. Hang on. Let's see if Joe will answer the phone. Hold on. Hold up. Is it going to ring? Not even getting a ring now. I'm going to have to start this whole process again over. Where's the stupid ringing at? Oh, see? Oh, crap. Butters update, an attempted Butters update after the break. Hang on, don't go away. You can't miss this.
You're getting the full melt.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today. marijuanapatients.org.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience, bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit PetPain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. PetPain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
I love this song, actually. I've always loved Macklemore. I didn't like this song at first, but it's kind of grown on me, this downtown thing. Especially after seeing on the MTV Music Video Awards.
Said fuck it. And the salesman's like, what up? What's your budget? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know nothing about mopeds. He said, I got the one for you.
So I'm going to see if I can remember this number, because I'm going to try and dial it now. So can I do this? I'm going to try and remember it. Try and remember it. Just for this purpose, because I got to do it this way now. Let's see. Can I play it? I'm going to play it. This is how I envisioned this before. Oops, let's try it again.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day.
I think this is the number. I probably screwed it up now. Hang on.
Could you be mine?
Is it going to ring? The Butters update. Probably got the wrong number now.
I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like
I think it's the wrong number.
I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you.
Hello?
Let's make the most.
Is anybody there?
Yeah. Hello.
Is that Joe?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it is Joe Brown. Can you hear that music in the background there?
Yeah, I love it.
My neighbor.
This is my Butters update theme music. I started to do this before and I totally screwed it up, Joe, and then you disappeared and it screwed it up even further. So, there goes. Oh, wait, I'll unplug that now because it's probably irritating the hell out of you. So, here's the thing. Welcome, Joe Brown from beautiful Saranac, Michigan. Joe, I want to reenact this now. Do we have time to reenact this? I'm going to try and do it. So, you play the part of Joe Brown, and I'll play the part of the would-be robber, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
So so go ahead and start from tell us, okay, I'm doing it.
So I pull out of the farm, and anyone who's been there knows we got the trailer parking lot that we're leasing next to the farm property. So I pull out of there. There's a car dealership just down the corner within quarter mile of my driveway. I look over, and my son's driving, and there's a truck parked, and there's a couple guys, in there, and so my son, look, there's a couple guys.
Duck down. There's some. He's looking at us. Who is it?
Yeah. Well, I turn around, a couple miles back, I drive back, and these guys are parked off the side of the highway, right where my entrance is to my property. I approach the one guy.
No, wait a minute. Wait. So now you just tell you already did the setup. I think I already told everybody about this. But I just want you to play your part, and I'll play the bad guy part.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you've seen Jimmy. You've seen Jimmy Kimmel or something, right?
What the hell are you doing on my farm property?
Creek.
Yeah. Hey. What the fuck are you doing? Do I need to pull you out of the truck?
Hey, buddy, I'm just your neighbor.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Oh. There's another guy behind me. This kid is walking up with bolt cutters, in a gunny sack up my trail that you normally walk up and down to get to my property. He's coming out of my property.
Slither.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck are you doing on my property?
But Dad, what should I say, Dad?
So in my head, I have 5 seconds to decide if I'm going to pepper spray them both and yank them out of the truck and assault them both.
He's going to pepper spray us, Daddy.
Oh, dude, I always got the pepper spray on me because I usually have to fight more than a couple guys.
Daddy,
you know?
he's going to pepper spray us?
Yeah. Well, they take off, but I got their plate.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here before Joe gets us. He's going to pepper spray our ass.
Yeah, exactly. So
is it swampy there where he was parked? Did he make like a mudmobile track?
Nope, nothing like that. He just pulled off to the side there where our entrance is at in the dark, and the other guy was apparently going to go back into my greenhouse and cut the lock off the door.
He thought he was going to go back there and get high, didn't he, Joe Brown?
Yeah, he wasn't going to get high off what I'm growing, though, because there isn't any THC in it, or almost no THC.
Have you reconsidered maybe putting some signs right on the outside of it? This is not weed. It won't get you high. This is industrial research hemp. We make rope with it.
Definitely happening. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to be putting an order in this week for a sign like that.
I would even attach to the sign, if you want to get high, there's something in this bag. Please take it and leave us be.
That might be something I would do too, because I'm a pretty good guy like that.
I'm just saying, if you want the rabbit to not eat your garden, you give him a carrot and let him run away with it.
Well, I'll tell you something, Steve, is we're putting about a $10,000 security system in tomorrow morning. And
damn, Joe.
It's not we don't take this lightly. I'm going to actually go down to the state police department here in the next couple of days and file a formal complaint.
No, wait a minute. So the guys took off. You took a plate number down. You didn't give it to the cops?
I give it to the cops, and they said they couldn't press any charges. There's nothing they could do.
Bull crap. Bull crap. They can't do nothing. My ass.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I mean, I'm going to go down and file a formal complaint.
Right.
My property's posted every 10 feet.
No trespassing, dude.
You're
in violation of criminal trespass if you're on my property and it's well posted and you had to go past that sign to get into my hemp facility.
Yeah, exactly.
And so good for you, Joe. Good for sticking up for yourself because you know what? When you're on the playground and some bully comes up and he slugs you from behind, he gives you a sucker punch, you know what? When you sucker punch him back and he falls down, people don't sucker punch you no more.
Yeah. I lived my life this way my entire life. People that knows me would tell you this is how I live.
So Butters update. You know what I'm going to do? I told everybody else. I was like, I think Butters is just Photoshop and Facebook is what I think it is. I want to hear proof of Butters. That's what I want to hear.
I just left Butters. I was just with him a minute ago having a hot dog with him. And
you eat a hot dog with Butters?
Well, I give him the crust from the bread, and then I eat the dog part. But
so you eat the dog.
You
eat the dog. He eats the hot. Is what you're saying?
Correct.
Well, I think Butters is a fascinating addition to your family repertoire out there.
Let me tell you something about Butters, though. Butters has a twin brother in Kentucky named Rollo. See, we got Butters from our business partner, Dwayne Lewis and Betty Lewis. They're actually my aunt and uncle, godparents, and they're down in Kentucky. They're my hemp partners, but they have Butters' brother. We saw him this weekend, and we finally realized that Butters is really little Butters. We call him little Butters because Rollo is twice the size as Butters.
I'll bet you they feed Rollo the hemp, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. We do too, though. The goats get all our extra hemp.
Well, is it just? But you didn't feed it. I mean, you can't feed it to them while it's growing.
No. We when we have to trim and pluck and go through it, we can end up with 3 or 4 pounds of material, and we just feed it to the goats and the chickens. They just love it.
That's awesome. I think it's so awesome what you're doing out there, Joe.
So
I don't know. I keep finding ways to try and showcase you. It seems like it's different every time. This time it was with Mr. Rogers and Butters. I don't know. Last time it was, I don't know. There's always a different way that we, come at you. But we appreciate what you do out there. I'm sorry that these MFers down the street there are trying to take your stuff. Do they got a moonshine still out there? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I guarantee this is a big meth community out here.
Oh, he's cooking some meth. He ain't cooking moonshine. He's cooking meth.
Yeah, so.
Does he have summer teeth? Does he have summer teeth? Summer here, summer there.
I'd like to mention, I'm the only one growing hemp legally here in Michigan this year, and if we want to change that, we need to put My Legalized ballot, ballot initiative up for a vote. And I just want to remind everybody to go out here and get signatures and support this ballot initiative. As far as industrial hemp goes in the state of Michigan, we can actually have a real sustainable hemp program here in the state of Michigan if this gets passed.
Look,
we can commercially grow it.
Real close to you, if you're out in the area where Joe Brown is, out in Cernak, there's the Jackson County Fair, and I know MI Legalized has a booth out there where you can sign up and legalize marijuana in 2016. So you can't get your hemp stolen by some backwoods, back-ass farmer. Joe, I appreciate you coming on. We're off the air the rest of the week. We'll be back after Labor Day. We're going to do the bridge walk up at with MI Normal up at the Mackinac Bridge, walk between the peninsulas. We hope to see you up there. We'll come back with a brand new season. Oh, there goes Joe. Come up with a brand new season on September 10th.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.